Multiple private sector companies have recognized in the recent Gender Leader Awards (GLA) ceremony organized by the International Finance Corporation (IFC) in partnership with the Nigerian Exchange Limited (NGX) for their efforts in promoting women's participation in leadership, employment, and entrepreneurship. The awards, which is part of the Nigeria 2 Equal program, spotlighted companies for taking concrete actions towards achieving gender balance in leadership, prioritizing child care and family-friendly workplace policy, and fostering a growth environment for women within organizations and supply chains. The award recipients and participating companies in the Nigeria 2 Equal program received their recognition in the presence of private sector business leaders and were commended by the Executive Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, who headlined the Gender Leader Awards that held at the Grand Ballroom Eko Hotel. Delivering his keynote address, Sanwo-Olu, while commending the IFC and NGX on the Nigeria 2 Equal initiative, said the program is transforming the landscape for gender equality across the nation. He noted that no nation can achieve its full potential without harnessing the full opportunity the women present.
And our partnership with Access Bank are providing discounted financing solution known as LASTFW Initiative Loan Account. LASW meaning Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, and the W is of course exclusive for women initiative loan, which provides low interest loans for female-owned businesses that flourishes in the state. We have also fully signed on to the He for She campaign, which is aimed at enlisting the support of men in the fight of gender equality, because it's an idea that the society as a whole stands to benefit immensely.
He therefore commended the companies who participated and made commitments during the program, while re-emphasizing the state's willingness to partner with more private sector organizations to focus on promoting the interests of women and the girl child in the society and country at large.
What NGX and IFC had started is focusing on the private sector, which is a very good thing. What it means is that on that track, right, some players are beginning to do the right things to ensure that in all of their play, right, they put it back at the back of everything they're doing, that there has to be equality. They have to deliberately put women, in forefront. And we've seen all of the benefits. You get a lot of smart people who are doing great things, and we just have to provide the opportunity for them. We're also trying in the public sector. So it's nice that the private sector also complementing the roles that we're doing. So it's a good one.
While the executive director of WIMBIS, Ms. Hanatu Adegbite, spoke to Lady Going Media on the importance of having a sustainable gender diversity workplace.
Tonight, we've seen how private organizations have been rewarded. What is your thoughts?
First of all, I want to commend the International Finance Corporation and NGX Exchange for this initiative. I think it is high time we begin to take these gender agenda issues very seriously. You can't get it wrong when you focus on diversity and inclusion, especially in leadership positions across various sectors. And I'm so glad that they have taken a step forward, a notch forward. WIMBIS as an organization for 22 years, we have been trying to do one thing, to see an increased representation of women in leadership positions. So you can imagine how it gladdens my heart to see them doing this award this night. So I do commend them for it.
Okay, what would be probably your advice to other organizations that not join the train to propagating gender issues?
If you don't want to be left behind, because you see diversity, equity and inclusion, it has become the order of the day. And the truth of the matter is that when something starts, if you don't join the train and move on with the bandwagon, before you know it, you become irrelevant and die a natural death. So I want to really encourage them to see diversity as equity. And equity means that when you look at things from both sides, there is a balance. I want to encourage them also to focus on the research and begin to see areas that they can glean from and learn from. I want them to think towards return on investment, and also to begin to see what are those critical areas that they can begin to push the needle in, just to ensure that there's a pipeline of women who can occupy some of these wonderful positions.
Right. His Excellency Governor Sanwo-Olu was here earlier on, and he made mention of how his regime in the past 4 years had seen the influx and a high number of women in government. What would you be saying to government and political agenda setters? What would your thoughts be to them?
My sister, the request is consistent and is always the same. Number one, to our president, all the governors in the nation, and all the leaders in various strata of governance, our first ask is very simple. We want to see an increased representation of women in public sector leadership, and so affirmative action of at least 30% representation of women in leadership positions in the public sector. Number two, in all the appointive positions of Mr. President, even with all the governors, we want to see 30% representation of women. Number three, we have 5 gender bills that were really, should I say, thrown out by the 9th Assembly. I want to appeal to the 10th National Assembly to revisit these gender bills and to pass them into law. And then for all other stakeholders, policy. Let's push for policy so that we're able to implement some of these actions that can increase diversity in our nation.
Access Bank, MTA Nigeria, Stanbic IBTC, Starling Bank, Cadbury Nigeria, Lafarge Africa, and Wimbeys Nigeria were some of the organizations present at the occasion, as some were recognized and awarded under different categories of the awards.